Hello again. Welcome to Dave's Desk. Today I'm with a presentation skills expert. He would call himself a facilitator because he does coaching, training, speaking, facilitation generally, live and online. His company's called Intercog and his name is Mike Grocott. He's from Stoke-on-Trent. We won't hold that against him. And yeah, and he's become quite a good and close friend over the last 2 years. He's been a part of my mastermind group. But I've noticed that the people he work with, they say he's made an impact, and coaches are very good at helping people be a little bit better, but I'm all about the impact, as most of you know. So let's have a chat with Mike, see where it goes. Hi Mike, how you doing?
Morning David, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Any better and I would be chocolate. That's how good I feel today.
Don't do that, because you know how much I like chocolate, so just be careful with that sort of offer.
So hold on, sip of coffee, it's too early. So let's start off with, how do you help people? So I get the traditional sort of one-to-one thing or the training thing, but is there a specific way you help people different to most people?
I think that for me, it's about understanding what they would like to get out of our conversation. I think it's very much a personal journey sort of thing, but I really need to understand where they want to get to. What is it they're trying to achieve? Is it better results? Is it less stress? Is it a particular thing that they're working towards? That's what I really need to understand. And the fun bit that we have together when we then work together is helping them to get there, because it sounds like a cliche, but every journey is different, but we need to know where they want to get to allow them to help them to get there. So I very much focus on understanding that first,
right?
So that then we can work out how we get to where it is they want to get to. And a lot of the time, they're not as far away as perhaps they might think they are.
Often the case, isn't it? So you're not one of these key coaches that try and flog, a 20 session package. You're very much focused on the outcome, the specific need of the client, and you work to that.
Absolutely. It's about working backwards. I kind of like to think I'm kind of a backwards type person, because you start with the goal in mind, know where you want to get to, so therefore you can work out how to get there and help other people to do it.
Brilliant. Can you give us maybe an example or two of people you've worked with and the difference you've made?
Absolutely. One of my more recent clients, she was an expert in her field. She'd been working in compliance for a fraud-based company for 25 years. She knew absolutely everything about compliance. And every year they have a company day, and she has to stand up for 15 minutes and give them an update. It's her excellence. It's what she does. She knows everybody in the room. She's massively well respected. She hates it. It worries her silly for days and days and days before the event. 15 minutes. That's all she's got to do. Stand up and talk about what she knows about in front of people that she knows and they respect her for 15 minutes, and she hates it.
We've all had minutes that feel like a year when we're speaking, haven't we, before?
Absolutely. She kind of used phrases like, "I'd rather pull out my own teeth than do it."
Yeah.
Ouch. And that's the fascinating thing, because the people like that should not have a problem talking about what they know about to people that know and like them, and yet they do.
We do, don't we? Yeah.
And I think we are fortunate in some ways, because for us, presenting is fun, but for a lot of people, it's the exact opposite end of the spectrum. So I work with her, and it's a lot of the times, and you probably find yourself doing the same sort of thing when you do the coaching. It's helping people with this bit to actually say, well, what is the reality of the situation? So I love asking I like asking questions that make people go, oh, I'll have a think about that, just to see the cogs whirring. Oh, cog, get it? Yeah. And to see the penny dropping and say, so do you know what you're talking about? Yes. How long have you been working in this field? 25 years. Do you know the people who are listening to you? Yes. Do they like you? Yes. Do they respect you? Do they know what you're doing? Yes. Do you know what you're talking about? Yes. So you're standing up in front of somebody, a group of people, they like you, you like them, you know exactly what it is you're talking about, and you've only got to do it for 15 minutes. Yeah. So I'd like you to point out to me, what's scary about that example? And they go,
yeah.
Oh, actually, when you think about it like that, perhaps it's not as scary as I thought. And so I worked with this lady, and we got to the point where she got to, for her last one that she did, she invited an expert from within the company to come up, and she interviewed him as part of her 15 minutes, as part of just to show how much more comfortable she was in the way that she did things.
Wonderful.
It's great to hear.
And at the beginning, you said, you know, how you and I, are comfortable and enjoy speaking. I mean, I do now, but honestly, in the beginning, I would have been very much like that client of yours. Terrified with fear.
Terrified. Same here. I remember, going back into the last century as it is now, we had to do a presentation as part of our final year project at university. I mean, I went to university so long ago, it was computer science. The term information technology hadn't been invented yet. We had in our second year, we had a 1 hour lecture on, do we think the IBM personal computer would ever catch on? That's how old I am. And this presentation about my final year project, I did a simulation of the Birmingham Super Prix, which was like a Grand Prix around the streets of Birmingham.
I remember it. Yeah.
Remember it well, being in your neck of the woods. And I did it because I was interested in sport and it seemed like an easy thing to do. But the final year presentation, what do I do? What do I do? I'll tell you what, I've got 15 minutes. I'll start off by showing the start of last year's race as an introduction. A lap takes about 2.5 minutes. I'll show the whole first lap. So I've got 2.5 minutes left to talk. And it's like, I was exactly, it's if you'd have said if you'd have told myself then that this is what I'd be doing for a living now, I would have laughed myself out of the park, because I was equally as scared as doing presentations as anybody.
Just a skill though, isn't it? It's like driving a car. I remember how terrified I was and so conscious and unaware of driving, and yet now we tend to get places and go, how did I get here? Because it's second left.
did I look at that last roundabout, or did I just go straight on? Was that light on green? Well, must have been, because the cars were coming.
Car webcam then, aren't you?
But replay my journey on the way home to see, did I do anything right?
But it's so true. It's so true. And what would your presenting highlight be, Mike?
Well, it has to be back in the days when I was a technical trainer and I used to work for a company called Computer Associates.
Right.
Every year they had an international conference in it was some little place New Orleans, and there were at its peak 25,000 attendees. And I used to do the upgrade seminar, like a 1-day webinar for one of the products that they made. The highlight would be when I did that in the ballroom to 450 people. And picture the scene. I'm on the stage, 450 people in the ballroom. The stage is a T-shape, so I could wander around.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The slights now, because this is in the days before radio mics. So clip-on microphone, cable, down shirt, down trouser leg, 45 feet back to the sound box. So I had to be slightly careful where I went, because I was literally chained to the stage. 20-foot square screen behind me.
Jumbo vision, yeah.
I could have gone on for days. I was enjoying myself so much. It's those sort of moments that I thought, do you know what? I like this now. And I could have done it. I mean, obviously I had to stop at some point, but it was just brilliant. That would be my highlight. 450 people, New Orleans, ballroom to myself, captive audience, doors locked, glued to seats, all the normal tricks.
Yeah, we're dumping them out. Yeah,
let them out until you get to slide 420. So yeah, that would be.
and he is joking for those listening to it. But
400, only 400.
Only 400, 399 at a push. So, because you have to skip one. But Mike, and when you're working with people either in groups as a trainer or one-to-one in the coaching arena, what is the most common mistake or mistakes that you see people making that are easy to fix?
Part of it's up here. I think part of it is thinking it's harder, that it's scarier than it actually is. I think the people have had past experiences when it hasn't gone well, and so they take that forward, as opposed to saying, well, let's look at this particular instance. What is the reality of the situation? Yeah. I know from when we've worked together and you helping me along in my stuff, you're very good at saying, well, So is that actually the case? What is the reality? And it's helping people about the reality,
Sure.
and what are you going to do about it? I think that's the same thing. We've talked in the past about different coaching models like the grow model and so on. And where are you trying to get to? What are the realities? How could you get there? And what are you going to do? And I think for me, it's people just not doing stuff about it. The thing that drives me nuts is those sort of people, and this is a general large tarry sticky brush, that know they're not very good at presenting, that know that it's scary, that know that it keeps them awake at night, and yet they just carry on doing the same thing. They carry on having the stress, they carry on not being as successful as they could be, they carry on making a bad impression from themselves and the company. I saw a presentation once, and it's the only time I've ever almost done this. He started off his presentation, "I'd like to apologize for the amount of statistics in my presentation." He's the only person that I've ever almost walked up to afterwards and said, "Hi, I'm Mike, I'm a speaker coach, call me." It's just the thing that really, they just don't take action. They don't do stuff because they know that they need to. And I think that's the thing in my business and possibly in yours as well. Until it turns into a want, they want to do something about it, then they don't come and talk to me. Yes, they know they need to, but until they actually want to, then
good distinction.
That's when they start to take action and do stuff about it.
One of the things I normally get through to people with is when I say to them, "You know how scared you feel?" They go, yeah. I say, "Have you ever turned up to a movie, a play at a theatre, or a kid's nativity play with a bucket of tomatoes ready to throw, thinking, 'Oh, I hope this is bad'?" Because an audience is desperate for us to be good. So all we need to do is practice, and as you say, quite rightly, know our stuff. And actually, all we need to do is serve people, and things get easier. Mike, what I'm after from you to conclude is the one thing that you personally do and advise your clients to do, that if we were to do it, every presentation we deliver would take our standard up a notch or two. What's your golden nugget?
I think my golden nugget is, well, I'm going to slide in very quickly too, if I may. First of all, think about it from your audience's point of view. Imagine the scene, you've got your audience there. Who are they? What are their characteristics? What do they know? What are they expecting from you? What are they expecting to hear? And then you can work out what to tell them. Don't start off with it, "I'm going to tell them this and they're going to listen to it." Think about it from the audience's point of view, because then it'll go much better. And the second quick one is, the secret is, one of the things I say to the secret about confidence is very simply to know how to look like you're confident. And yes, I'm from Stoke, so I said Luke before you pick me up on that, because I know you're about to.
I wasn't, wouldn't dare.
Because if you look confident, I'll ask you a question, David. If you look confident, what do people think that you are?
They think you're confident, mate.
And if they think that you're confident, how are they going to treat you?
With respect.
And if they treat you with respect, how are you going to feel?
We're going to feel great as presenters.
And if you feel great, how is it going to make you feel confidence-wise?
Out of this world.
And if you feel out of this world confidence-wise, strangely, what are you going to look?
Confident.
So it all starts with knowing how to look confident. That's the confidence cycle that I talk about in my book. And the fact that if you know the tips and tricks and you look confident, that's half the problem, because that's what people think that you are and won't assume anything else.
Well, your book, let's go there. So to conclude, tell us the name of your book and on how to find it on Amazon, and how can people get hold of you if they want to, Mike?
Okay, so thanks for that. The book we're talking about there is How to Be Better at Presenting in Person and Online, because obviously we've got to do more of this these days, and will do in the future.
Yeah,
it's available. I would say available at all good bookstores, but I'm lying. Amazon, of course, is the place that you can get it from,
which is also a good bookstore.
Absolutely. You should try writing a book sometime, David. It's a lot of fun. And I've got 2 more coming out on networking and communicating later on this year, but that's just obviously the free plug.
Wow.
How people can get hold of me? Well, it's just go to the website, intercog.co.uk. It's got my contact details on there, and then you can just drop me an email or find me on LinkedIn from the contact information on there.
You're a star, super generous, expertise shared in abundance, superb value for everyone watching and listening to this. Mike, thank you very, very much indeed. And for the rest of you, see you soon on another Dave's Desk.
Thanks, David.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click the TV to watch the next video. Oh, and don't forget to visit our website at davidhyner.com to claim your free audiobook. Until the next time, go Rhino. Have in it.